This guy falls into a nightmare loop every day. His entire body gets pulled into endless darkness, unable to escape and only sinking deeper. Early morning, thunder explodes loudly outside the window, followed by piercing voices calling him to wake up. He jolts awake with wide eyes while clutching his head in pain. A voice comes from the room next door, sounding very happy that he has woken up. She urges him to quickly find a way out. What way? He looks around confused, not understanding what is happening here. Only then does the girl remind him to look toward the door. There is a huge wall of spikes, and it is getting closer to them. This makes him fearfully retreat backward, but he quickly regains his composure and tries to find an escape route. The door on the floor cannot be opened from this side, so his only way out is the window. With all his strength, he tries to break the window bars, but in the end, it has no effect at all. He collapses to the ground and crying sounds come from the room next door. She thought that once he woke up, he would find a way to escape from here, but now must they just sit here waiting to die? This makes him very angry, and he yells through the hole in the wall. He thinks this is a prank by the person next door, so he angrily demands that person release him from here immediately, or else he will report to the police. He talks tough, but when he discovers that the person crying next door is a girl, he immediately apologizes for raising his voice at her. Then he gently asks her what is happening here. She cries while explaining that with the heavy rain outside like this, no one will come to save them. The spike wall moves closer to them every few minutes, and in just a little while, they will all die. She cries so hard that it makes him flustered. He tries to comfort and encourage her to stay calm and find an escape route. Right now they can only rely on themselves. He sees there is an axe next to her, so he tells her to use it to break the window. Hearing this, she cries even louder because her cell has no window. Out of options, he yells loudly asking her to give him the axe. He will break the window and escape first, then come back to save her. She cries and does not believe him, but if she does not give him the axe now, she will also die here. She sobs and demands that he swear a deadly oath that after escaping he will come back here to save her. The spike wall continues moving. There is no more time to hesitate, so Yuan Ning swears on his identity that he will not escape alone or else he will die a horrible death. After swearing, Yuan Ning urges her to quickly pass the axe through the hole in the wall. However, the axe blade is too big for the hole. Yuan Ning tries his best to pull it through, but it is no use at all. Out of options, he has her use the axe to break the wall instead. She picks up the axe and strikes the hole with all her might. The impact sound leaves them both in despair because the stone used to build this wall is granite, an extremely hard stone that cannot be broken with just an axe. She collapses against the wall in despair, crying her heart out, while Yuan Ning still tries to comfort her. If she keeps crying like this, how can he concentrate on thinking of a way to escape? Hearing this, she cries even louder. She is still pure, has not had her first kiss yet, and she does not want to die like this. Yuan Ning laughs and says this is easy, he can help her with that. Of course she does not accept. Then she tells Yuan Ning about how she ended up here. She does not know why, she just dozed off on the subway. And when she woke up she was already lying on a rusty bed in this cell. Iron bed. Yuan Ning's eyes light up with hope. He jumps up and asks her to break off a bed leg for him. With that iron bar, he can break the window bars and escape from here. Yuan Ning has observed carefully. Only the four walls surrounding them are built with granite. The ceiling is just rotting wooden planks. So as long as he escapes through the window and climbs onto the roof to break the ceiling, he can save her. No more time to think. She gives Yuan Ning the iron bar. He breaks the window and climbs out right before the spike wall reaches him. On her side, she can only sit and cry, begging Yuan Ning not to leave her behind. In this moment close to death, she remembers the time before when she went mountain climbing with her friends. At that time, Xiang injured his leg, so everyone brought him to a nearby cave for treatment. Since Sujin studied internal medicine, she is very skilled at bandaging wounds. After bandaging Xiang's wound, Bro Dong and Fang Fang returned, but they look very serious. Bro Dong calls Sujin aside to talk privately. While Sujin was bandaging Xiang's leg, he and Fang Fang went to scout the situation. The snowstorm is too big and has blocked the path up the mountain. Their GPS signal cannot be used anymore either. That is why they called Sujin here to discuss something. They will go down the mountain to find help and come back to save Xiang later. If they stay here waiting for Xiang to recover, everyone will not have enough food to survive. Of course Sujin does not accept. This makes Bro Dong angry and he scolds Sujin. He knows Sujin likes Xiang, but just because of her feelings, dragging everyone to their deaths is not worth it at all. Xiang sitting in the cave also hears them arguing. He angrily curses at Fang Fang and Bro Dong. They have been classmates for 10 years, and now they want to abandon him here just because he has a small leg injury. Hearing these accusations, Bro Dong remains firm with his decision. They came back here only to inform Sujin. For them, sacrificing one person is better than the whole team dying. At least these two still consider Jian a friend and are not cutting off his chance of survival. They leave half of their food supplies for him, then turn and leave immediately. Sujin stays behind to take care of Jian. Thanks to her dedicated care, Jian's leg swelling has gone down. Thinking it over, Sujin also finds the two's decision correct, because she is the only one here who can treat Jian. The two going down the mountain to find help is reasonable. Sitting here as a group, there is not enough food for everyone anyway. This romantic atmosphere makes Jian unable to hold back, and he almost kisses Sujin. Luckily, she is still alert and runs away, using the excuse of getting food so she does not have to sit here feeling awkward. Before she leaves, Jian confesses his feelings to Sujin, but ultimately receives rejection from her. Despite rejecting him, with the heart of a medical practitioner, Sujin still diligently searches for food for Jian. When she returns, the fire in the cave has gone out and Jian has disappeared, leaving only a line of writing on the wall. He took all the food supplies and left to ensure his own survival, abandoning Sujin alone on this snowy mountain. Thinking of this, Sujin cries even harder. She hates men because they are all the same. The spike wall is right next to Sujin when a loud noise sounds and Yuan Ning's arm reaches out to catch her. Girls really do start cursing at the slightest thing. As promised, Yuan Ning has returned to save her. Sujin bursts into tears and grabs Yuan Ning's hand to escape the cell. On the rooftop, she breathes heavily then rushes to hug Yuan Ning, thanking him for not leaving her behind. Then Yuan Ning jumps down from the roof first, then helps Sujin down after him. He steps outside and looks around. It seems the place they are standing is a lighthouse in the middle of the sea. The more he thinks, the stranger Yuan Ning finds it. What kind of pervert brought them all the way out here? No time to think anymore, Yuan Ning needs to find a way to escape. He discovers a door on the floor, so he and Sujin work together to open it. Yuan Ning is very gentlemanly, going first to scout the situation for Sujin while she just needs to follow behind. This is the path leading straight down below. The lighthouse is very tall with only one ladder. The rain is pouring heavily, so Yuan Ning has to walk while reminding Sujin to be very careful. Then trouble comes again. The ladder they are using to climb down has a broken section. This is the only way out, so Yuan Ning has no choice but to jump down. Then he yells for Sujin to jump after him. He will be there ready to catch her. Sujin hesitates for a second then decides to trust Yuan Ning, and indeed Yuan Ning catches her. However, this ladder is out at sea, and the wind and rain have corroded most of it. Now having to bear the weight of two adults, it breaks immediately, sending them both falling straight into the sea, sinking deep into the water. Yuan Ning has no strength left at all. He slowly sinks down when a hand pulls him back. It is Sujin. Thankfully she knows how to swim, so she drags Yuan Ning to shore. Sitting beside the lighthouse, Sujin discovers a room at the base of the tower. Earlier, Yuan Ning's head was hit very hard, so he needs treatment. Despite being scared, Sujin still carries Yuan Ning inside. It is too dark in here. After fumbling around for a while, Sujin finally finds the light switch. The moment the lights in the room turn on, a dried skeleton appears in front of Sujin, along with someone standing right behind her. He pins Sujin against the wall with a knife to her throat and begins interrogating her about her origins and how she appeared here. Sujin cries in fear and tries to explain to him that she just woke up already being here and has no idea how she got here. If he does not believe her, just ask the unconscious Yuan Ning over there. So this guy lets Sujin go and goes to Yuan Ning. Even though he is unconscious, this guy shows no mercy and stomps hard on Yuan Ning's hand to force him awake. Then he grabs Yuan Ning's hair and holds a knife to his throat, threatening him, forcing Yuan Ning to confess everything. Yuan Ning looks around confused and denies knowing Sujin, saying he just met her a few minutes ago at the top of the tower. Seeing this, Sujin is very scared and tries to remind Yuan Ning, but the guy shuts her up. He says only the person he asks may answer. Then he presses Yuan Ning's hand to the ground and stabs the knife down hard. This guy talks tough, but actually he is just threatening Yuan Ning. He did not stab the knife into his hand. Just now was only the first warning. Next time they break the rules, they will not have hands to return home with. Yuan Ning cries even louder in fear, making Sujin unable to understand why Yuan Ning said he does not know her. Could Yuan Ning have some kind of intention? Seeing Yuan Ning cry so hard, the brown-haired guy gets annoyed and scolds him for crying like a child. This makes Sujin immediately realize that Yuan Ning's behavior is not like himself at all. Adding to the fact that he fell from a height earlier, could it be that? Thinking of this, the brown-haired guy speaks up and questions Sujin. The testimonies of the two of them do not match, so how will Sujin explain this to him now? Sujin is very scared but still tries to explain to this guy immediately. Earlier Yuan Ning used his body to cushion her fall into the water. In exchange, that impact most likely caused severe damage to Yuan Ning's head. In medicine, this is called amnesia. Immediately, the brown-haired guy yells that he does not believe Sujin's explanation. Does she think he is a 3-year-old child to use that kind of explanation? He curses at Sujin terribly and holds the knife to Yuan Ning's throat. This explanation is unreasonable, and he has no reason to keep them alive anymore. Sujin is scared but still tries to beg him. Everything she said is the truth. What can she do to make him believe her now? Seeing Sujin cry so pitifully makes this brown-haired guy soften up. So he decides to give Sujin one more chance. Within 3 seconds Sujin must give him a satisfactory answer. Why would Yuan Ning risk his life to save Sujin when they have not even known each other for a day? The brown-haired guy furrows his brow and holds the knife to Yuan Ning's throat, threatening him. Of course, he will not believe the love at first sight story either, so he reminds Sujin beforehand to find a different answer. Then he starts counting, making Sujin confused and not knowing what to do. Sujin's eyes fill with tears as she feels that she will die here. And 20 years later, she will also become a dried corpse like the one in front of her. 20 years? Immediately Sujin comes up with an idea. The brown-haired guy has counted to 3 and is about to kill Yuan Ning when Sujin speaks up to stop him. Looking at his appearance, Sujin can also guess he is only under 30 years old. Sujin has a question for him first. How old is his oldest friend? The brown-haired guy thinks for a while, then remembers. He and his friend have known each other since they were 3 years old. Up until now, they have probably known each other for about 25 years. Hearing this, Sujin has an explanation for herself. She and Yuan Ning have only just met, but Yuan Ning was willing to risk danger to save her. This proves that how long you have known someone has nothing to do with whether that person has the kindness to save another person. Just like the brown-haired guy and his friend. If he keeps carrying that extreme thinking in his heart, then when he or his friend is in danger, would he be willing to save his friend, even if they have known each other for a long time? There is nothing proving that in such moments they would save him. So Sujin does not want to use the length of acquaintance as a measure of a person's kindness. Hearing this, the brown-haired guy stops Sujin. Sujin's explanations are very sharp, and he cannot refute them. So he decides to temporarily spare Sujin and Yuan Ning. Of course, he still does not trust them. Then Sujin helps Yuan Ning up and tells him everything that has happened. However, as Sujin guessed, Yuan Ning has indeed lost his memory. What Yuan Ning still remembers is only the time when he was in 5th grade. Seeing Yuan Ning keep his eyes tightly shut makes the brown-haired guy a bit uncomfortable. He forces Yuan Ning to open his eyes and look at him even though Yuan Ning is very scared. Meanwhile, Sujin goes to the dried corpse. She examines it once and also discovers something abnormal. This place is very damp, so how can this corpse be so dry that it cannot decompose? According to Sujin's deduction, this corpse was most likely transported here from somewhere else. Seeing that Sujin is not afraid of dead bodies makes the brown-haired guy a bit curious. As someone in the medical field, of course Sujin has seen too many already. This much is nothing. So she and the brown-haired guy start examining the corpse more carefully. The brown-haired guy uses a knife to cut open the corpse's clothes to examine it. Based on the appearance and clothing, Sujin judges this might be a naval officer. The cut layer of clothing immediately reveals a series of numbers carved onto the body with a knife. What is the purpose of this series of numbers? There is too little information, so Sujin cannot deduce anything. Then she sits down and questions the brown-haired guy. Only now does he introduce himself. His name is Xiang from the Yidong gang. A few days ago he was framed by a villain, so he used a boat to escape. When he woke up, he did not know why he appeared in this place. Yuan Ning and Sujin encountered a similar situation, so Xiang thinks they were kidnapped here by slave traders. Then those people encountered the navy, so they forgot about them on this island. Hearing this, Yuan Ning speaks up to refute. He does not think so because when he and Sujin woke up, the two of them were locked in 2 rooms with preset traps at the top of the lighthouse. So Yuan Ning is certain this matter will be very complicated, not as simple as Xiang thinks. Moreover, now they have also discovered the series of numbers on the body of the naval officer. According to Yuan Ning, it is very possible that they are participating in a dangerous survival game. Hearing Yuan Ning's explanation, Sujin also immediately remembers and tells Xiang. Recently among Chinese youth there has been a very interesting game trend, using real people to participate in code-breaking games like this. If what they deduce is correct, Then Sujin wants to go back to the cell at the top of the lighthouse to find more clues, but all the paths leading up there have been destroyed. In their most stuck moment, Sujin discovers that in the ear of the dried corpse there is a piece of paper. She immediately opens it to check, and this turns out to be a map, with many X marks on it. This makes everyone unable to understand what the purpose is here. At this moment, Yuan Ning seems to feel that this map is very familiar. He has seen it somewhere before, but cannot remember where. Being vague makes Bro Zhizeng annoyed, and he scolds Yuan Ning directly. Sujin has to step in to mediate and takes Yuan Ning to rest. Meanwhile, Bro Zhizeng goes outside to smoke, standing and thinking about Yuan Ning and Sujin. One guy pretending to be crazy and one girl who is not afraid of corpses. He still suspects they were sent here by the underworld to kill him. The next morning, when the two are leaning against each other sleeping, Bro Zhizeng comes in to wake them up. He tells them to prepare to go to the marked point on the map. This makes Sujin a bit worried. Their group has one girl and one injured person. Will the journey go smoothly? Hearing this, Bro Zhizeng glares threateningly at the two of them. According to underworld rules, the weak must submit to the strong. Here he is the strongest, so Yuan Ning and Sujin must obey his orders. If not, he is ready to kill them. So all three prepare and set off, going deep into the forest on the island. After walking for a while, Bro Zhizeng discovers something abnormal and orders the other two to stop. He bends down to dig through the straw and discovers this is a trap with blood on it, but he cannot determine whether this is human blood or animal blood. He can only know that there are other people on this island. Hearing this, Sujin is quite happy. If there are more people joining the team, they will not be afraid of danger anymore. But Bro Zhizeng does not think so and turns to scold Sujin for being too naive. In a dangerous place like this, everyone only thinks for themselves. There is no food or drink. If Sujin encounters them, Bro Zhizeng is certain she will just become their breakfast. They still do not know how many people in total are on this island, so Bro Zhizeng decides that for now they must be careful not to reveal their whereabouts. Continuing to observe, Bro Zhizeng takes the task of scouting. Meanwhile, Yuan Ning and Sujin must go find food. After a while, Yuan Ning finds a bunch of wild berries, while Sujin is still diligently picking mushrooms. At this moment, Yuan Ning discovers a white rabbit. Sujin thinks it is so cute and wants to play with it for a bit when a knife flies from somewhere and kills the rabbit right in front of them. It is Bro Zhizeng. Now that there is rabbit meat, he sits comfortably eating his fill, while Yuan Ning and Sujin can only eat wild berries. After eating until full, this guy's eyes glance over at Sujin's chest, so he orders her to go make a bed for him to rest. Yuan Ning also stands up wanting to help, but is stopped by him. He demands Yuan Ning stay outside the cave to keep watch, while he will go inside to have some private business with Sujin. Yuan Ning obediently listens to him, but only when Sujin's terrified scream rings out that Bro Zhizeng is trying to rape Sujin. Yuan Ning rushes straight into the cave, demanding he release Sujin. This makes him very angry. He kicks Yuan Ning away immediately. Yuan Ning endures the pain and stands up to stop Bro Zhizeng with some very confusing explanations that make the guy frustrated. He punches Yuan Ning in the face, then goes outside. He yells, reminding Yuan Ning and Sujin to rest early so they can continue the journey tomorrow. Bro Zhizeng sits next to a tree, still continuously thinking about Yuan Ning's advice from earlier. Being lectured by a crazy person really makes him lose face. While feeling annoyed, he hears terrified screaming. Thinking that Sujin and Yuan Ning are in danger, Bro Zhizeng rushes back to check, but it is not them. The screaming comes from the direction of the traps in the forest, so the whole group runs quickly there to check. They only see a man running away in fear, then falling straight into the trap. Sujin wants to go out to save him, but Yuan Ning stops her. They cannot go out because behind that man there is someone else. Bro Zhizeng also senses the danger. Scaring a grown man into running for his life like this, it seems the one behind is the dangerous one. After waiting for a while, this person appears. He drags along a very large hammer. Ignoring the man begging for his life, he still kills him without mercy. This bloody scene makes Sujin faint in fear. Even Bro Zhizeng breaks out in a cold sweat, wondering what the hell is happening on this island. After the butcher leaves, Bro Zhizeng orders everyone to return to the cave and rest through the night first. Sujin is still unconscious while Yuan Ning is very worried and asks Bro Zhizeng if that butcher from earlier is from a cannibal tribe. This even he cannot figure out. The only certain thing is that this place is very dangerous. To preserve their lives, they must be extremely vigilant. So Bro Zhizeng orders Yuan Ning to go to sleep first while he will stay up to keep watch for them. The next morning, Sujin and Yuan Ning go out to find food again. While Yuan Ning is still up in a tree picking coconuts, a mouse clings to Sujin's leg. She screams in terror, and Bro Zhang immediately appears because he thought the two of them encountered the natives. Seeing Bro Zhang appear so quickly, Yuan Ning also figures it out. He has been secretly following and protecting them. Being discovered by the two of them makes Bro Zhang very embarrassed. Of course he will not admit it. Because she was just scared, Sujin's urge to use the bathroom comes, so she reminds Bro Zhang and Yuan Ning not to peek, then rushes into the bushes to relieve herself. After a while, Sujin finishes. Just as she pulls up her pants and stands up, she hears a strange sound. She thinks Yuan Ning and Bro Zhang are teasing her. But no, Sujin's scream rings out. This startles the other two. From this they can determine that Sujin has encountered the natives and rushed to rescue her. Sujin cannot run in time and has been restrained by two natives. Bro Zhang and Yuan Ning stand in the nearby bushes, not knowing how to save Sujin now. Until one native stands up and grabs an axe. He is about to kill Sujin. Out of options, Bro Zhang orders Yuan Ning to charge forward first, while he will throw knives from behind to support him. He cannot let Sujin die. Yuan Ning summons all his courage and charges forward when at this moment a gunshot rings out, sending one native to meet his maker. The remaining one is so scared he releases Sujin and flees into the forest. Yuan Ning rushes over to help Sujin up. Then a beautiful blonde girl holding a pistol approaches them, reminding the two that this forest is very dangerous and the natives will return soon. She invites Yuan Ning and Sujin to follow her to escape from here. Yuan Ning confusedly asks about her identity and learns that she is a police officer named Candy. Candy also calls out to Bro Zhang hiding in the bushes. Sujin and Yuan Ning agree to go with her. But Bro Zhang is still a bit suspicious. Candy's face is very familiar, as if he has met her somewhere before. Candy glares at Bro Zhang and gives him an answer. There are many people who look alike in this world. Bro Zhang probably mistook her for someone else. Then Candy bends down to examine the native's corpse. Clearly she aimed for the head earlier, so how did the bullet go through the native's heart instead? Bro Zhang immediately laughs mockingly at Candy's shooting skills. Anything but this, Candy absolutely will not admit to. She has won a gold medal in shooting before. Candy wants to investigate more closely, when at this moment the natives have already caught up. There are too many to handle, so the whole group can only run as fast as they can following Candy's directions. She lets the three of them go ahead while she stays behind to hold off the natives. They agree to meet at the stream at the edge of this forest. Knowing they cannot help, the three of them also listen and run immediately. The whole group waits by the stream until the gunshots stop. They do not know if Candy is still alive to return to them. But first, Bro Zhang still has something to tell Sujin and Yuan Ning. After the conversation with Candy, they have confirmed that there are many more people in this place, and the clues about the map and the code cannot be revealed. In this forest, besides those natives, anyone is ready to kill them. Bro Zhang has now confirmed that Yuan Ning and Sujin are not from the underworld, so he promises to wholeheartedly protect them if they follow his lead. Sujin cannot decide on her own, so she lets Yuan Ning decide. After hearing Bro Zhang's words, Yuan Ning thinks he is inviting them to form a team like in a game. In the end, Yuan Ning accepts, so the three of them shake hands and form a new team. Everyone makes an oath to unite and help each other, or else die a horrible death. Just then, police officer Candy returns. To repel the natives, she used too many bullets. If they bring more forces now, she cannot handle it. So for now, she wants to take everyone back to her base first. So the three follow Candy back to her camp. At Candy's camp, there are three more people. They sit here and also heard Candy's gunshots. Although she killed the natives, they also feel their ammunition is running low, and they need to save it for unnecessary things. This makes Bro Zhang extremely uncomfortable. He runs over and grabs a somewhat effeminate guy by the collar. They are about to fight when an older man speaks up. Just by looking, he can tell Bro Zhang is a gangster from Hong Kong. However, at their camp, they must comply with civil rights regulations. Candy also speaks up to stop Bro Zhang. He has freedom of speech here, but cannot commit violence. Light violations will be expelled. Heavy ones will be dealt with immediately. Hearing this, Bro Zhang immediately refutes Candy. She is the one with the gun, meaning Candy is the law enforcer here. So what basis does he have to believe Candy will handle everyone fairly? As a police officer, Candy swears to perform her duties fairly. Moreover, she is not forcing Bro Zhang to join the team. If he does not like it, he can leave right now. Hearing this, Bro Zhang also smiles and accepts. So from now on, the whole group has officially become one team. So each person introduces themselves to each other one by one. After introductions, they get to the main business. This time, Candy went scouting and discovered a big issue. Going through the forest to the south, she discovered a very large architectural complex. As for architectural style, Candy is not very good at this. Moreover, she only saw from afar, so she is not clear. So Candy can only describe it to everyone. This is a big discovery. Ishigaki wants to go there to scout more. But Romeo and Xiang think they should be careful. What if that place is the natives' lair? Then the whole group is done for. Candy agrees with Ishigaki's opinion. Two opposing opinions conflict with each other. It would be unfair to decide by herself, so Ishigaki wants everyone to vote together. Of course, Bro Zhang's group also has the right to vote. Bro Zhang smiles and takes a blank ballot, then lets Yuan Ning and Sujin decide. Sujin casts a blank vote. She will act according to everyone's decision. Yuan Ning votes for Candy's group because sitting here forever will not solve anything. When the score has tilted toward Candy's group, Bro Zhang speaks up to stop Ishigaki. He votes for Romeo's group, the group that stays here. The reason is simple. Bro Zhang wants to create a deadlock, a difficult situation to resolve so he can see how Candy will handle this problem fairly. Ishigaki smiles and praises Bro Zhang as a very interesting person, so he decides to hold a second vote right away. From his pocket, Ishigaki pulls out a stack of bank checks and starts persuading everyone. As long as they vote for Ishigaki, he will write them a $10 million check. Hearing this, Romeo and Xiang's eyes immediately light up. They know money cannot be spent here, but as long as they can safely return home, they will be able to live a carefree life. Bro Zhang is a bit uncomfortable. In a fair vote, they are playing the bribery game. Ishigaki immediately refutes. Only when it is for personal benefit can it be called bribery. But this is for the whole group, so it should be called strategy. Bro Zhang laughs, then turns to remind Yuan Ning and Sujin to let them follow his decision. If Ishigaki has a way to attract votes, he also has his own way. Bro Zhang votes not to go on this trip. However, his side only has 3 votes while Ishigaki's side seems to have secured 4 votes already. So Bro Zhang uses a larger sum of money to attract them, $30 million for those who follow his side. Candy is a bit doubtful about where Bro Zhang gets so much money. He just smiles and answers her. This money is paid by Ishigaki. Ishigaki is startled and also realizes Bro Zhang's meaning. The persuasion part ends. Now is the real voting time. Xiang votes to go explore. Candy and Ishigaki do the same. Only Romeo, after hearing Bro Zhang's eloquent words, has reconsidered. There are no enemies that last forever. Only interests come first. So Romeo decides to follow Bro Zhang's side. 30 million is a very large number. Earning this money is even easier than robbing a bank. Bro Zhang smiles and turns to thank Ishigaki for being generous with them. The voting was just for fun because in the end, the whole group still heads out to explore together. After walking for a while, Bro Zhang calls out to Candy saying he has something to discuss privately with her. Candy does not want to talk privately and demands Bro Zhang speak in front of everyone. Bro Zhang agrees and approaches, whispering a few words in her ear. Then Candy stops him and pulls him into the bushes to talk privately, making everyone very curious about what they are discussing. After just a few words, Candy angrily slaps Bro Zhang in the face. He bursts out laughing because what he deduced from Candy's reaction just now is correct. Soon he will return that slap to her. Candy leaves the bushes and returns to the team. Ishigaki then asks if Candy is okay. Candy does not want to mention this matter again, so she walks away immediately. Following Candy's guidance, a while later when the sun is about to set, the whole group arrives at the giant structure. Candy turns to ask Ishigaki's opinion to see if he has discovered anything. According to Ishigaki, this architecture very much resembles the Mayan pyramids. Ishigaki still cannot confirm, so they must go inside to check more carefully. The whole group goes deep into the structure. Standing from afar, they could not tell it was this big. Candy asks everyone to stay close together and not separate from the group. The natives could appear at any moment and attack them. While walking, Sujin keeps staring at Bro Zhang. Seeing her worried, Yuan Ning speaks up to ask about her. Sujin grips her hand tightly and confides to Yuan Ning. At first she only thought she was kidnapped here, but now there are too many mysterious things coming at her. The naval corpse, the map and code, and now this giant structure too. This makes Sujin unable to determine whether this is a game or real life. Hearing this, Yuan Ning comforts and encourages her. Things that cannot be figured out are best not thought about. In his view, the place they are heading to is correct because this pyramid is marked on the map. Moreover, now they have more teammates. If they cooperate with each other, they will escape from here. Sujin cannot be as optimistic as Yuan Ning because the ancients say those who are carefree will surely have disaster nearby. Yuan Ning immediately interrupts Sujin, using the excuse that he is not good at literature, so she should not use idioms with him. Sujin smiles and pats Yuan Ning's head. Being carefree and not studying more like Yuan Ning. How will he find a job in the future? Yuan Ning immediately pulls out the bank check that Ishigaki gave them. If he exchanges these $30 million into Chinese currency, why would he need to work? So Sujin and Yuan Ning giggle together. Meanwhile, Candy has discovered traces of fire. The charcoal is still warm, probably from recently. Ishigaki thinks the natives are here, but Yuan Ning does not think so. He picks up 2 batteries from the ground. If they were natives, how would they know how to use batteries? If not natives, then it is definitely stranded people. They camped here then left. Where they went Candy cannot know, so she guesses perhaps they went deeper into this Mayan pyramid. After scouting all around the pyramid, they did not discover any more clues. They only know one thing, that there are other people like them on the island. So Ishigaki stands up to make a decision for everyone. They will go deeper into the pyramid to continue exploring. Candy agrees with this opinion. They have come this far, surely they will not turn back now. Romeo immediately refuses. It is too dark inside and probably still dangerous, so Bro Xiang speaks up to advise them. Why not split into 2 teams? One team goes exploring while the other stays here waiting to provide backup. This is exactly what Ishigaki wants, so he also divides the teams immediately. Sujin is called to go with the exploration team because she is in the medical field and knows how to bandage wounds for others. Yuan Ning, Bro Xiang, and Romeo stay with the backup group. As soon as the exploration team enters the pyramid, Romeo turns to call Bro Xiang. He wonders why Bro Xiang did not make things harder for Ishigaki one more time. If they had to vote, they might earn more money. When that time comes, Romeo would follow Bro Xiang's side and fill his pockets again. Bro Xiang glares at Romeo and refuses his proposal. He grabs Romeo by the collar, lifts him up, and holds a knife to Romeo's throat, forcing Romeo to hand over the $30 million check. From the very beginning, Bro Xiang was only using Romeo. There is no way he would cooperate with such a weak guy. With a knife to his throat, Romeo fearfully reminds Bro Xiang about the team's rules. But at this point, who is there to witness for Romeo anymore? So to save his life, Romeo is forced to hand over the check. The exploration team at this time is still fumbling around in the pyramid. Many characters are carved on the walls, but since these are all ancient characters, they cannot understand them at all. They have to go elsewhere to continue searching. At this moment, Xiang turns to call Sujin to hurry up. She keeps standing there dazed like a lost soul, remembering what she shared with Yuan Ning. The day Bro Xiang tried to rape her, she poisoned him. After that, they became sworn siblings, so Sujin also trusted him and gave him the antidote. However, even after being cured, Bro Xiang still has to endure one more agonizing pain. According to Sujin's calculations, the time is almost here. She is very worried, not knowing if the 2 of them outside are okay. As Sujin feared, outside Bro Xiang's pain has arrived. He just reminded Yuan Ning to keep watch for him while he goes to the bathroom when a group of fierce natives rushes toward them. The whole group is startled and immediately runs away. But this pain is too intense. Bro Xiang cannot walk anymore. In the most critical moment, Yuan Ning does not abandon him, but turns back to carry Bro Xiang and run. Romeo runs into the pyramid, breaking out in sweat as the natives are getting closer. He keeps yelling but still does not see Ishigaki and Candy coming back to save him. So Romeo must find a way to save his own life first. At this moment, he discovers a mechanism on the wall. This seems to be the switch to close the pyramid door. Romeo uses all his strength to pull that switch. Luckily, the door slowly closes. But unfortunately, Bro Xiang and Yuan Ning have not run inside yet. Seeing this, Yuan Ning yells loudly, reminding Bro Xiang to hold on tight to him. Then he and Bro Xiang jump inside just as the door closes. Escaping death by a hair, the 2 breathe as if they are about to die. Then Ishigaki and Candy come running frantically. Bro Xiang clutches his stomach in pain and curses Romeo. For his own life, he closed the door. They almost had to leave their corpses out there. But Ishigaki does not think so. In that situation, closing the pyramid door was the most reasonable thing. Because if they did not do that, the people inside would also be in danger. At this moment, Sujin discovers Yuan Ning's hand is injured. She takes Ishigaki's flashlight to shine on it and immediately takes Bro Xiang's knife to cut open the wound. Sujin freezes and bursts into tears. Yuan Ning has been infected with an extremely strong poison. If the toxin spreads to his heart, he will definitely die. But there is no medicine here. She cannot save Yuan Ning anymore. The whole group is stunned after hearing this. Bro Xiang goes crazy, urging Sujin to find a way to save him. But she is also powerless now. If it is an antidote, perhaps those natives have it. But this door has closed tight. They cannot go outside anymore. In the group's most desperate moment, Yuan Ning speaks up to encourage everyone. He is not afraid even though he is about to die. Because fear and despair at this moment will not solve anything. They must find a way out of this pyramid first. then there will be a chance to find the antidote. So Ishigaki changes tactics. No more exploring. Find a way out of here to save Yuan Ning first. This time, even if Romeo objects, no one will follow his side anymore. The whole group goes deeper into the pyramid. There is a staircase leading down below. Candy touches the wall and discovers this place is very damp. Perhaps this place is often flooded. At the end of the staircase there is light coming out. Bro Xiang is happy thinking this is the exit, but no. This staircase leads them into a large room that is especially beautiful. This place has a sky full of stars, a flooded lake, and stone platforms protruding at intervals. Seeing this scene, Yuan Ning gets a headache. He is certain he has seen this place somewhere before. At this moment a cry for help rings out, startling Ishigaki. He thought it was from his team, but no. Candy looks far out into the water. There is a group of people trapped there waiting for their help. Yuan Ning wants to save them right away, but Ishigaki is very cautious. Not knowing who they are, they must interrogate first. These people are also trapped on the island like their group. However, in their group, there is a professor who understands ancient history. He knows where the exit is, so they must save him for them to escape from here. Earlier, they activated a mechanism, but miscalculated the timing, so they got trapped on the water like this. Ishigaki is still doubtful, but Bro Xiang is in a hurry. He must find a way out of here to save Yuan Ning. So he runs to Sujin and takes a rope. Then he has Xiang throw it to the group trapped in the water. One by one each person is pulled up. The blonde guy, who is the biggest, comes up last. Andre kneels down to thank them for saving his life. Ishigaki stares at Andre. This guy's muscles are bulging. Just that alone is enough for Ishigaki to confirm he is not an ordinary person. So Ishigaki steps forward to question Andre. Only when reminded does Andre remember to introduce himself first as a matter of courtesy. Next are the other members of the group. The chubby guy is Ding Hechun, a stand-up comedian from the Shaanxi region of China. Hearing this makes Yuan Ning excitedly question him right away, since Yuan Ning also likes stand-up comedy. But Ishigaki stops him, saying at this point such things are unnecessary. The girl in the group is Rika, just an ordinary housewife with nothing remarkable. And finally, the archaeologist, who is unconscious, Jairaud. Here only he can understand the characters carved on the walls. Candy has already examined his condition. His breathing is still stable. He just needs to rest a bit and will be fine. Rest a bit. Bro Xiang does not accept and wants to wake him up immediately. At this moment Jairaud has also woken up. He points ahead and lets everyone know the exit is over there. As long as they reach the highest point in this room, the door will open. Hearing this, Sujin looks up at the ceiling. The highest point. Surely they do not have to climb all the way up there. Ishigaki does not think so. Here there are only a few stone pillars and the water beneath their feet, so according to his deduction they need to get to the tallest stone pillar, which is also the one farthest from them. Sujin is a bit worried. That far away. Surely they do not have to swim out there. Andre interrupts Sujin to explain to everyone. Earlier his group already tried several times. In this room the water level will periodically rise or fall depending on their actions. Jairaud also agrees with Andre's opinion. They just need to wait for the water level, then swim to the stone pillars that can be climbed, then wait for the next water rise. But there is one problem. Jairaud has not been able to grasp the pattern of water draining and filling in this room. Hearing this, Xiang thinks it is simple. They just need to swim, then choose a stone pillar that can be climbed. If they choose wrong, they just choose again. Candy interrupts him and Andre because she has discovered something abnormal. If it were that simple, then Andre's group would not have been trapped in the water. The draining process here is very strong. So strong that each time it appears it creates a huge whirlpool. Let alone humans, even fish that get caught in it cannot determine their direction. The situation is very urgent. If they keep sitting here thinking like this, then Yuan Ning is done for. At this moment the room starts draining water. According to Andre's calculations, the time interval is about 10 minutes. Bro Xiang impatiently wants the whole group to swim to the tallest pillar, then slowly climb up. Even if a whirlpool appears, they just need to hold tight to the rock. Would that not work? Hearing this, Ishigaki immediately refuses. He knows Bro Xiang is anxious to save Yuan Ning's life. Everyone here is the same as him. However, they cannot gamble the lives of the whole group for one person. Hearing this makes Bro Xiang speechless and unable to refute anymore. Inside he is very uncomfortable. It is because of him that Yuan Ning got poisoned. So Bro Xiang definitely cannot let Yuan Ning die like this. But how can they get to the tallest stone pillar now? At this moment Yuan Ning speaks up. Is the shortest path not right in front of them? From where they are standing to the tallest stone pillar are 2 stone pillars lined up straight with each other. As long as they follow these stone pillars, they will reach the tallest one. Hearing Yuan Ning's explanation, Professor Gyraud is enlightened and exclaims, Yuan Ning's deduction is completely correct. In this room, there are many other small pillars, but it is precisely those pillars that distract them. The real path is right in front of them. Ishigaki and the others also immediately understand the professor's meaning and start calculating. Each time the water drains, the water level will rise about 5 meters. The height of each pillar, according to his estimate, is only about 10 meters, so they just need to get on the nearest stone pillar. Then wait for 2 water drains and they will reach the next pillar. Continuing like this, in less than an hour they will be able to escape this room. After calculating the plan comes the preparation for combat. Since the group has women and injured people, Ishigaki orders the young healthy men to go first. Climb up the stone pillar, then use rope to pull the others up, just like how they saved Andre's group. Romeo speaks up worriedly, reminding them they have to swim out there and pull up each person one by one. But the draining time is only 10 minutes. What if there is not enough time? Will they not die there? Hearing this, Ishigaki turns to ask Andre. He estimates his climbing time is probably only 1 minute. Then he will pull up each person one by one. However, there are up to 8 other people here waiting to be pulled up. So he is also not sure if there will be enough time. Once again, in a difficult situation, Romeo wants to use a lottery method to get the chance to be pulled up first. Sujin immediately refuses. The group has an injured person. If he falls into the last turn, will Yuan Ning not die? Romeo yells that he does not care because Yuan Ning is going to die anyway. This makes Bro Xiang truly angry. He rushes over and kicks Romeo in the face. He is about to take out his knife to kill him, but is stopped by Candy and Andre. Ishigaki steps forward to warn Bro Xiang one more time. Then he also agrees with Romeo because in this moment a lottery is the fairest. After a round of drawing lots, the results are in. Everyone has their own nice number. Only Rika, a woman, has to be last. She cries in despair. Then Ishigaki decides to give his slot to her. As a strong, healthy man, he cannot let a woman go last. The whole room shakes, signaling the next water drain. As soon as the shaking ends, the whole group dives into the water and swims to the nearest stone pillar. Andre is the first to climb to the top. Xiang and Bro Xiang follow after him. They coordinate with Andre to pull up each person one by one. By the 7th turn with the chubby Ding Hechun, the water has started draining. The whole group uses all their strength to pull. Luckily, in the end, they manage to pull Ishigaki up onto the stone pillar in time. Then they lie down, gasping for breath. At this moment, Romeo speaks up curiously. Those fierce natives out there, how could they have built a structure like this? Hearing this, Professor Gyraud takes the opportunity to explain to everyone. This is the architecture of the Gulen people, used to train courage and strength. This species of human is very mysterious, so there are no records in ancient texts. However, thanks to the research of his teacher, Gyraud was able to learn that the Gulen people are the eternal rivals of the Maya. Yuan Ning thought the natives outside are the Gulen people, but they are not. They are just slaves of the Gulen people. Professor Gyraud continues to explain. According to records left by the Maya, the Gulen people have very high intelligence. They also know how to create dark tools. Although in ancient texts they often exaggerate things, it still makes everyone afraid when hearing the professor announce that the Gulen people have the ability to live forever. Hearing this, Yuan Ning continues to have a headache. The story the professor tells is very familiar, like he has heard it somewhere before but cannot remember where. The next water drain has come. Having experienced this time, everyone coordinates very well. No one is left behind. While sitting and waiting for the next water drain, the chubby Ding Hechun accidentally sees that there is a door right next to the stone pillar behind Professor Gyraud. This makes him extremely surprised. Could he have made a wrong judgment? The team starts having disagreements again. Some want to go there to check. Others want to continue with the original plan. Ishigaki speaks up to encourage everyone. At times like this, they should follow the original plan. Professor Gyraud himself read the ancient words carved on the wall. They must climb to the highest peak to find the way forward, so he believes the ancients will not deceive them. Gyraud also agrees they should go to the tallest stone pillar first. If it is not right, then going back to the other stone pillar is not too late. Yuan Ning does not think so. In the next water drain, that stone pillar over there might be submerged, and there is also nothing confirming that the water will stop rising. This makes the whole group very confused. Just as Yuan Ning worries, if the water level keeps rising, what will they do? At this moment, Candy speaks up to explain. Before entering this room, she observed the walls very carefully. They are very damp, so she is certain the water has risen there before then receded. So they just need to get to the tallest stone pillar. If it is not right, they just wait for the water to recede, then go back. The next water rise has come. The whole group swims desperately. Andre is still the first to reach the top. Indeed, there is a door up here. He happily reports down to everyone when something goes wrong. The place where Bro Xiang was standing collapses, so he and Xiang fall straight down. Now only Andre is up there pulling each person up one by one. Rika is the first to be pulled up. She does not stay still but curiously touches that stone door. So she is immediately pulled inside. Immediately the door on the stone pillar behind them opens. By the time everyone has been pulled up, Ishigaki wants to find a way to save her. But Professor Giraud stops them because it is too late. According to what is carved on the door, the group needs one person to sacrifice to open the next path. At least after sacrificing Rika, they do not need to worry about the water level rising anymore. Now they just need to wait for the water level to drop, then swim to the door on the other side. However, if the water level drops too low, they cannot climb up to the top of that stone pillar. So they must take advantage of the time before the water starts dropping. No more time to think. The whole group starts using the rope to lead each other swimming over there. The water starts draining and the chubby Ding Hechun is the last one. The whirlpool is too strong. The current makes him gradually exhausted and sink down. In the moment when he wants to give up, he remembers the day he met his master. When he was young, Ding Hechun was a boy who stuttered, so he was bullied by friends around him. At that moment his master appeared and reached out to take him in. Then taught Ding Hechun 4 characters that he remembers for life. Never give up. Immediately Ding Hechun regains his will to live and struggles to rise above the water. Then he is pulled onto the stone pillar by his teammates. Everyone is safe now. Then Professor Giraud starts reading the words carved on the door. Indeed, this is the correct path. So the whole group supports each other and quickly advances to the highest peak of the tower. The whole group follows Ishigaki and Candy, who are leading. After walking for a while, they discover something abnormal. Not only snake skin but also many human bones. This alone is enough for the whole group to know this place is very dangerous. How strange that at this moment Yuan Ning starts singing. Sujin worriedly checks on Yuan Ning and his fever has begun. It seems the toxin has started affecting Yuan Ning's body. Andre appears to support Yuan Ning and carries him on his back instead of Sujin. Bro Xiang wants to take his place, but Andre stops him and reminds him. If he wants to save Yuan Ning, then Bro Xiang must try harder. Leave the carrying to him. At this moment Candy's call rings out. She has just discovered something new. A huge altar appears in front of everyone. Without even knowing what is up there, Bro Xiang has already rushed up. At this point he is anxious to find a way out to save Yuan Ning. So the whole group has to run after Bro Xiang. As soon as they set foot on the top, Bro Xiang urges the professor to read the text on the door. Word by word, the professor reads aloud for everyone. To open this door, they need a sacrifice. So he turns back and asks everyone to try lying in the altar. Everyone is scared, so Candy volunteers to test first. As soon as she lies down, the door opens. It is so easy that Bro Xiang is very happy. He wants to go immediately but is stopped by the professor. The door clearly states the door only opens if there is a sacrifice. He asks Candy to sit up. Sure enough, the door closes immediately. This means they need one person to stay behind for the rest to continue. But that is too cruel. Xiang comes up with another idea. It does not have to be a human. They find some rocks to bring here and stuff in to equal the weight of a person. This method is very good, so everyone starts splitting up to search. However, after searching for a while, they cannot find any rock big enough. Ding Hechun finally finds one. However, as soon as Xiang uses his strength to lift the rock, he falls backward. Then he feels there is something not right about this rock. Only when Professor Giraud comes down to check do they learn that the rocks here have been weathered over too long a time. They cannot use Xiang's method anymore. Ishigaki sighs and accepts the truth. If that is the case, then they need to leave one person behind for the others to continue. Everyone who hears this breaks out in a cold sweat with fear, especially the weak Romeo. He points at Yuan Ning and declares outright, if one person has to stay behind, is it not Yuan Ning? Why should they go through all the trouble of carrying along a poisoned person who will definitely die? Being sacrificed for everyone, Romeo is certain Yuan Ning would also feel happy. Sujin vehemently objects. Leaving one person here is no different from killing them. She turns to remind Ishigaki this is against the law. But in this desperate situation, Ishigaki cannot think of a better way. He silently agrees with Romeo's opinion. Leaving Yuan Ning here is the wisest decision. Romeo suggests everyone vote for the fairest outcome. Ishigaki turns to ask Bro Xiang, and he does not object. So the vote to decide whether Yuan Ning will be left behind begins. One by one, each person in the group raises their hand, making Sujin stunned. Even Professor Giraud agrees with Romeo. Before every expedition, he always reminds himself it will be very dangerous. If he were in Yuan Ning's situation, he would also happily accept. So the result is 6 people have agreed to leave Yuan Ning behind. Ishigaki turns to ask Bro Zhizeng if he has any objections. He only sees him smile, then pull out his knife. Whoever wants to leave his brother behind must step over his corpse first. Romeo screams in fear and blames Bro Zhizeng, then demands Andre hand Yuan Ning over to him. But he only receives Andre's refusal. He himself is a soldier. This place is like a battlefield. As a soldier, he cannot abandon his comrade in a place of death. Instead of voting to leave Yuan Ning behind, Bro Zhizeng has a better way. He steps forward and punches Romeo in the stomach. Next is a chop to the neck that makes Romeo pass out immediately. Then he proposes to everyone. He suggests leaving this guy behind. Whoever objects, raise your hand. The atmosphere is tense. In the end, no one objects to Bro Zhizeng's decision. So the weak Romeo stays behind to sacrifice his life for the others to proceed. While running, Professor Giraud evaluates Bro Zhizeng. He is a very delicate person. First, he shows his attitude and strength to make the opposing attitudes of others completely disappear. Moreover, Bro Zhizeng's ability to control psychology is also very impressive. Because when voting to decide that a living person must die, everyone carries a feeling of hesitation. But Bro Zhizeng knows well that Ishigaki and Candy also hate Romeo. So there is no way they would speak up for Romeo. Finally, they have found the way out. Escaping from this pyramid, the whole group feels like they have been reborn. Sujin cannot delay and starts looking around for herbs to cure Yuan Ning's poison. Meanwhile, Bro Zhizeng and Andre carry rocks back to save that weak Romeo. Ishigaki also starts assigning tasks to the others. He has Ding Hechun and Wang Xiang go find food. Candy is in charge of keeping watch for everyone. He and Professor Giraud go search for weapons. Inside the pyramid at this moment, the weak Romeo has woken up. He wants to escape, but as soon as he stands up, the door immediately closes. Romeo can only scream and beg for help in despair, not knowing that a huge creature has appeared right behind him. Romeo's terrified scream startles Bro Zhizeng and Andre. Knowing it is too late to save Romeo, they also turn and run immediately. On Sujin's side, thanks to her dedicated care, Yuan Ning has finally woken up. But trouble continues to come. Ding Hechun is being chased by a snake. Ishigaki worriedly yells, asking about Wang Xiang's whereabouts, and learns he has fallen into the ravine. Right when the chubby guy is about to die, police officer Candy appears and shoots it several times. However, the snake goes crazy and turns to chase them. At this moment, Bro Zhizeng appears with a knife in hand, stabbing continuously into the snake's body. Then he is thrown into the ravine by it. Yuan Ning dazedly yells, wanting to save Bro Zhizeng, but Ishigaki stops him. He is certain below this ravine is a pool of water. Falling down there, Bro Zhizeng will not die. So they must find a way to go around first, then save them later. On Bro Zhizeng's side, after falling down, he conveniently also saves Wang Xiang. Just waking up, Wang Xiang is startled and reminds him. On Bro Zhizeng's hand is a huge leech. Wang Xiang is not much better off when he has leeches covering his back. After using fire to burn them off for a while, they finally escape from them. At this moment, Bro Zhizeng notices some bubbles floating around them. Even though Wang Xiang reminded him, he is still curious and touches one. The bubble bursts and a fragrant aroma comes. Then the two of them collapse to the ground and pass out immediately. Meanwhile, Yuan Ning's group is still rushing down the mountain searching for them. While walking, Sujin reminds everyone not to touch those bubbles. After searching for a while, they finally find Bro Zhizeng and Wang Xiang passed out by the stream. A moment later, Bro Zhizeng wakes up. The whole group gathers together to discuss the next plan. It has been a day since they have eaten or drunk anything. So for now, they must rest first. But at this moment, an arrow flies toward them, startling the whole group. It is already too late. They have been surrounded by a group of natives. They do not attack immediately. Instead, a man who appears to be the leader steps forward in front of them. This guy can speak the modern language, making everyone surprised. The leader knows Professor Giraud can read and understand Guilin writing, so he threatens him to reveal the whereabouts of One Eye. Because One Eye is the only person in this world who can understand Guilin writing. The professor breaks out in a cold sweat and explains to the leader. Who One Eye is, he does not know. He learned Guilin writing from his master. However, his master passed away 30 years ago. There is only one characteristic that Professor Giraud has to rely on. His master was also blind in one eye. After the conversation with Professor Giraud, the whole group is led away by the natives. While moving, Ishigaki asks the professor about something. He still does not quite understand the earlier dialogue between the professor and the natives. The person they mentioned is Giraud's master, Dr. Zico, who passed away more than 10 years ago. Giraud cannot confirm this. It is only his speculation based on what the natives described, and he also finds it very similar to his master. because Professor Zico had two specialties. First is archaeology and next is medicine. After the period when the World War broke out, people who possessed two specialties like his master were very rare. At this moment, Bro Xiang turns to ask about Yuan Ning's condition. He has already been given the antidote by the native group, so now the toxin has been completely eliminated. His arm has also regained sensation. So Bro Xiang pulls Yuan Ning close to him and whispers, "It seems like these natives are leading the whole group to their lair." He has already looked at the map. The place they are about to go is also marked on the map, so they must go through it. However, if something is not right, he must warn Yuan Ning in advance to prepare mentally and run immediately. Ding Hechun walks while breathing a sigh of relief. He does not know what will happen next. But at least they are still alive for now. Jairaud is also not sure about this. Earlier the natives mentioned medicine. They brought them here probably to treat someone. But he does not know about this. He can only rely on Sujin. Sujin is also very worried. She is just an ordinary medical student. What if she cannot cure them, then the whole group is done for. Finally, they have arrived at the native village. The people here look at them and smile, making Wang Xiang scared. They look at him like they are looking at food. At this moment, the native leader appears and stops the other natives. Then he calls for the person with medical knowledge to follow him. So the professor and Sujin follow the native up to the highest house at the top of the village. After walking a bit more, the native turns back to check. Then he angrily points his spear at Sujin's face. A woman cannot treat their king. Only when he reminds him does Professor Jairaud remember. In the records, the Gulen people are heavily patriarchal. He has tried to explain to the leader, but he absolutely refuses to listen. Just when he is about to eliminate the two of them, another native appears holding a pipe and discusses something with the leader. Since Sujin does not know their language, Jairaud has to stand in the middle and translate for her. The native with the pipe allows Sujin to treat their king. But the leader still does not agree. Only when the one with a pipe states clearly that this is the king's decision does he reluctantly lead the two further, going deep into the dark cave. Finally, they arrive at where the king of the native group is. Sujin does not delay and starts diagnosing his illness immediately. Her preliminary assessment is that the king seems to have South American malaria fever. This disease in modern times is nothing worth mentioning. But for the primitive people on this island, if not treated in time, the mortality rate is extremely high. As for the treatment, it is also simple. Just give the king enough water, then have him take quinine medicine. However, the problem here is they do not have quinine medicine for him. Sujin has also thought of another method. They can use cinchona bark as a substitute for the medicine ingredient. Wang Xiang hears this and is a bit worried. Does that tree even grow in this forest? According to what Ishigaki knows, the tree that Sujin just mentioned really likes to grow in humid forests. And coincidentally, they are on an island with a South American tropical climate. So just searching, they should find it. Professor Jairaud has already negotiated with the natives. They allow 3 people to go out and search for medicine. The rest stay as hostages. If they do not bring the medicine back by tomorrow morning, all the hostages will be killed. Since Sujin is the only one who can identify the cinchona tree, she must go. The other 2 must be people with combat ability to protect Sujin. Ishigaki suggests Candy as the first person. For the second person, Andre raises his hand to take responsibility. If we are talking about combat ability in the forest, this is not his first time. Then Andre turns to borrow Bro Xiang's knife. This makes him a bit hesitant. Only when Yuan Ning persuades him does Bro Xiang finally hand over his precious knife. Sitting in the cell waiting is all the hostages can do. Outside, a heavy rain is pouring, making Yuan Ning very worried. He does not know if they are okay. On Professor Jairaud's side, he continues to research the characters carved on the walls. The Gulen people worship the giant snake in the forest as a god, and every time that malaria plague comes, they believe it is the anger of the gods. So instead of treating those who are sick, they offer those people as sacrifices to beg the gods to forgive them. Until one day 10 years ago, a one-eyed man appeared and broke the curse for the Gulen people. So the Gulen people and him became friends. He lived a happy life here, and it was he who taught them the language of modern people. Until fleets began appearing by the sea, One Eye also disappeared since then. At this moment, Jairaud remembers an important detail and exclaims, could it really be his teacher who did this? On Sujin's group's side, they are still fumbling through the forest searching for medicine. Because that type of tree is very distinctive, Sujin will recognize it immediately. But currently the rain is too heavy, and it is also nighttime. So the search is extremely difficult. Andre keeps staring at Candy. This time he volunteered to join the search team, not to protect Sujin, but for another purpose. Andre is targeting Candy, an American female police officer. This time he will definitely not let her go. At this moment, Sujin has discovered that tree. so the whole group rushes there to collect the bark. Meanwhile, Professor Jirard has told everyone the truth, that his teacher has not died. This makes Ishigaki very confused. Did Jirard not already attend his funeral? Jirard explains further for everyone. Archaeology is a very expensive field, so it must have wealthy patrons pumping money in or government support. Yet one day his teacher launched a big project. Jirard questioned where the funding came from. His teacher only explained it came from a mysterious organization. He was not allowed to mention the name of this organization. Then he had to sign many contracts, including donating his body after death. That is why after Jirard's teacher passed away, his body was not cremated or buried, but was taken away by that organization. Until now, Jirard has realized his teacher only faked his death. For someone proficient in medicine like him, this is not difficult at all. Jirard remembers one day before his teacher passed away. That day he went to his teacher's house. He kept calling, but his teacher did not answer. Jirard walked into the house and looked around for a while. Then he discovered his teacher's pet dog had died. Yet when reminded, his teacher remained indifferent, as if nothing happened. Then he mentioned to Jirard the 4 characters meaning eternal life of the Gulen people. This is a blessing of this tribe, implying the desire for immortality. Ancient people without medical help could only live to 30 or 40 years old at most. That is why those 4 characters for eternal life imply that the Gulen people have a way to control life and death. Then his teacher pulled out a syringe from the drawer. He went to his pet dog and injected it. Immediately it came back to life. And this is the new medicine that Professor Zico invented, called the fake death medicine. Currently he only uses it as a toy. But Jirard never expected his teacher would use that very medicine and disappear from this world. Now he has been brought to this island with thousands of clues. It further helps Jirard confirm that the one-eye the Gulen people mentioned is definitely his teacher. Inside the forest, Sujin's group has finished collecting the bark. Andre sighs, then turns around and sees Candy pointing a gun at his face. She fires, making Andre scared. Luckily, Candy only shot the monkey behind Andre. From behind them, countless monkeys appear. Each one is fierce and ready to attack them at any moment. Early morning on Yuan Ning's group's side, the natives have come to take them away. Even before the sun sets, the whole group is brought to huge wooden stakes. Ding Hechun, just looking, is already so scared he wets his pants. Jirard wanted to warn him, but it is too late. According to records, the Gulen people worship the strong and subdue the weak. So those who show fear will definitely be brought to the execution platform first. And sure enough, the leader orders Ding Hechun to be captured first. Just when Ding Hechun's life is about to end, Sujin's group returns. Thanks to Sujin's care, the native chief is better now. So to repay Sujin, the native Eden gives her a favor. He leads Sujin outside and starts explaining everything to her. The next location Sujin needs to go to is the foot of the volcano. That is the forbidden land of the Gulen people. Before, there were many white people like Sujin who also went there, but none of them returned. Only One Eye alone returned. But to escape from this island, Sujin must go there. At this moment, Sujin speaks up, asking about the mutated monkeys she encountered in the forest. Eden grits his teeth, then turns and points at his arm. This arm of his was also left behind in the encounter with those monsters. He especially warns Sujin to be careful when encountering them, because if they are just wounded by them, they will become infected and then lose all their senses. Sujin brings everything back to tell the whole group. It sounds like encountering zombies. This thing is too unscientific, so Jirard does not believe it. Only when Candy and Andre stand up to confirm does he accept. Bro Zhang and Ding Hechun are also not surprised. They have already encountered giant snakes, so what is there not to believe about these zombies? At this moment, Yuan Ning steps forward to voice his thoughts. Decades ago, One Eye appeared on this island. According to what Jirard said, he dares to affirm that mysterious organization brought him here. The time One Eye appeared also coincides with when those mutated monkeys appeared in the forest. This makes Yuan Ning suspicious. Could this be a product that One Eye created? Hearing this makes Professor Jirard startled and realize, could his teacher really have faked his death and come to this island to research immortality? Knowing that Professor Jirard now has many questions in his heart, Ishigaki steps forward and pats his shoulder to encourage him. Whatever it is, they must move forward to get answers. Now they only have one choice, which is to go to that volcanic area to investigate. And this time everyone agrees to follow Ishigaki. That night, the rain was very heavy at the mysterious organization. A red-haired man came to meet Mr. Luo. This guy seems to be a high-ranking member in the organization, so before being allowed in, the red-haired man was checked very carefully. Coming here in such heavy rain means there must be urgent business. The red-haired man quickly explains. This time he came to bring the bet that Mr. Luo won in the bet about the Gulen people. From his hand appears a beautiful diamond ring. Luo is not very interested in this, and immediately gives it to the girl Lily beside him. This bet ends here. A new bet begins right after. Luo thinks for a while, then asks about Sujin's situation. In betting, the red-haired man cannot reveal this to Luo beforehand, so Luo decides to bet that everyone survives. The red-haired man advises Luo to think more carefully, but Luo feels that is unnecessary, because as long as Yuan Ning is alive, that group will all survive. At this moment, Luo reminds the red-haired man, as long as Yuan Ning is alive, for all the following bets he will bet the same way. So the red-haired man does not need to run here anymore. The red-haired man understands and is preparing to leave when someone calls out to him. It is Professor Zico. The red-haired man is startled and completely could not sense his presence. Then he politely greets Zico. Since he is already here, it saves him the trouble of running back and forth. The red-haired man steps forward to hand over the bet money to Zico, then quickly leaves. After that, Zico pours a glass of wine and sits down beside Mr. Luo, mentioning Yuan Ning. He does not understand why Luo has such strong faith that Yuan Ning will survive. Luo also has his reasons for this. He is certain Yuan Ning will survive. Otherwise, his life for the past few years would be nothing but a joke for the world. Hearing this, Professor Zico reveals a bit of news about Yuan Ning to Luo, that he has lost his memory while trying to save Sujin. Immediately, Luo's face shows worry, making the professor laugh. At this moment, outside the door comes a loud noise. Before Luo can go outside to check the situation, a blonde man wearing military uniform has already walked into the room, blaming Luo that this way of doing things does not respect them. On Yuan Ning's group's side at this time, they are still out fishing. Bro Xiang sits waiting all day, but only catches a tiny fish. Just looking at it is already boring. At this moment, he turns to look at Sujin. She is explaining to Mr. Eden about the effects of each type of herb. Seeing that he has a nice-looking pipe, Bro Xiang comes over to ask him for a puff. Although Eden warned beforehand that this tobacco is not easy to smoke, Bro Xiang does not believe it and still has to try. So with just one puff, Bro Xiang collapses immediately. This makes Mr. Eden and the native leader burst out laughing. Before, everyone was like Bro Xiang. No one can handle the strength of that tobacco. At this moment, the native leader turns to praise Yuan Ning's group. They and One Eye are friends of the Gulen people, completely different from the white people who have appeared on this island before. Instead of helping them, they freely captured and killed his people. This makes him hold a deep grudge. However, now he has confirmed that Yuan Ning's group are all good people. Just when Yuan Ning wants to ask more information about that group of white people, Candy emerges from the water. This makes the whole group mesmerized by her beauty. The native leader can only sigh, thinking Yuan Ning's taste is too bad. If needed, he will introduce beauties from his tribe to them. Yuan Ning awkwardly refuses. A loud noise signals that the feast in the village has officially started. Yuan Ning's whole group is invited by the chief to dine with him. They start the party with a whole bowl of wine. Just taking a sip, almost everyone sticks out their tongue because this wine is so spicy and hard to drink. Only Andre can handle it. The native leader keeps offering them wine. At this moment, Ishigaki uses the excuse that tomorrow they are going to the volcano, so they cannot drink much. Then he asks them for someone to guide the group. If it is just guiding, then Mr. Eden takes this responsibility. While drinking, Andre sees other natives competing in archery, so he curiously turns to the native leader. Then he is invited to compete in archery with him. Knowing that Andre is not familiar with this type of bow, he takes out a crossbow that One Eye left here years ago. Having good equipment in hand, but not daring to compete would be really embarrassing. Andre agrees to compete, then discusses the prize. The native leader points to his head, making everyone scared pale. They think he needs Andre's head, but no, he only needs Andre's hat as the prize. Then the archery competition takes place. Before Andre's turn, he already takes off his hat and gives it to the native leader. Win or lose, this hat is his. Then Andre shows off his marksmanship and wins immediately. It was not until that evening that Bro Xiang woke up after being high. Seeing everyone drinking, he struggles to crawl down when he hears a noise in the bushes. Bro Xiang curiously peeks in to check and screams in shock when the monsters are attacking a native member. Yuan Ning hears the scream and immediately runs up to check. Bro Xiang screamed so loud that the monsters also discovered him and rushed to attack. Luckily, Andre and the native leader came to save his life. But that unfortunate native was not so lucky. Sujin wants to give him first aid, but is stopped by Eden. He has been wounded by the monsters. Soon he will also become like them. To prevent that from happening, they need to cremate his body. The native leader, hearing this, absolutely does not agree. Professor Giraud also understands a bit about Gulen customs. In the tribe, those who die must be buried to return to the gods. Those who are cremated will have their souls scattered, never to be reborn. After arguing with Mr. Eden, the native leader carries his friend into the forest. He has decided to chop up his comrade first, then bury him. This way, even if he turns into a monster, he cannot move anymore. Deep in the forest, the leader presses his comrade down, hesitating, not wanting to do it. But at this moment, that comrade springs up and bites his hand, then quickly runs away. Hearing his terrified scream, the others quickly run to check. Then they send other comrades to search for that guy. Sujin discovers the leader's hand is wounded, so he hides the fact that he was bitten. Meanwhile, Mr. Eden keeps staring as if he has discovered something. After returning to the village, Sujin helps the leader bandage the wound. The others, after witnessing this scene, are very scared. Seeing this, Ishigaki encourages and comforts everyone. No matter what, they must keep moving forward to have a way home. This morning, he and Andre have collected a lot of food. The plan remains the same. Tomorrow morning, they will depart to the volcano. Yuan Ning sits beside Mr. Eden, asking him about the past. Eden takes a puff of tobacco, then tells Yuan Ning everything. Among those who have been bitten by the monsters, he is the only survivor. At first, they were all normal. Then suddenly one day they lost all reason and attacked others indiscriminately. According to One Eye, this is the incubation process. Mr. Jackson's son also encountered a similar situation. Out of options, he could only join the others in killing his own son. And in that moment, it seemed like Jackson regained his reason. That look in his eyes Eden can never forget until now. Eden deeply regrets that if he could have discovered it earlier, perhaps he could have saved him. Early the next morning, the whole group came to ask Mr. Eden for permission to leave early. Because currently there is trouble in the village, so he cannot lead them to the volcano. At this moment, they hear a loud noise coming from below the village. So Eden quickly explains to everyone. Their village is preparing to welcome a new chief. It is that leader Mungu. Because the old chief is too old and weak to take care of the others anymore. Before the group leaves, Mr. Eden wants them to stay and attend the new chief inauguration ceremony. According to custom, the old chief will cut blood into a bowl for the new chief to drink to maintain the bloodline. As soon as Mungu finishes drinking the bowl of blood, Eden immediately bursts out laughing and yells down below. This makes Professor Giraud break out in sweat and relay to everyone. Mr. Eden here is wanting to take revenge on Mungu for the grudge of killing his son years ago. Last night he found the corpse of the infected native in the forest, then used that person's blood to coat the blood bowl that Mungu just drank. This way Mungu will become a monster soon. Immediately Mungu starts losing control. Giraud yells, reminding everyone to run from this place immediately, because Mungu has just ordered the other natives to kill them. Eden still stands on the mountain crying. Meanwhile, below, Mungu has completely lost control. He turns and aims straight at the former chief, but just as he is about to attack, it seems Mungu has regained a bit of consciousness. Being hunted by the native group makes the whole team scatter and run. In the end, they lose each other. Ding Hechun sits gasping for breath. He cannot run anymore. Beside him, there is only Professor Giraud left. According to what he knows, the volcano is to the northeast. So currently, they can only continue going in that direction to have a chance of meeting everyone again. Just as they stand up, they are startled by a noise from the bushes. They think it is the natives, but no, it is Yuan Ning. He comes over to ask about the professor's situation. Then he also understands somewhat the next plan of the group. At this moment, from afar comes another noise. Without knowing what it is, they must hide first. The three jump into the bushes to observe. Then they see Sujin frantically running away. She gets caught in a trap and falls flat on the ground. Yuan Ning wants to go rescue Sujin, but is stopped by the professor. Someone is chasing Sujin from behind. It is two natives. They stand in front of Sujin and start saying something. Professor Giraud has to translate for them. These two people are very hesitant about the order to kill Sujin. The king has ordered her to be killed, but they are people who repay kindness. Sujin saved their old chief, so they decide not to kill Sujin but let her go. They even point out the direction of the volcano for her. Seeing this, Yuan Ning can finally breathe a sigh of relief, but Professor Giraud is still very cautious. Sujin has done a favor for the native group, so they spare her. But the others are just tagging along with Sujin. There is no guarantee they will be spared, so for now they must be careful. Ding Hechun agrees with this opinion. Then Yuan Ning pulls out his map to show them. He finds the safest route to the volcano area, avoiding encountering the native group on the way. It was not until evening that the whole group arrived at the beach. Professor Giraud is quite sure the natives will not venture out to the sea at night, so they will camp and rest here for one night. The bright moonlight illuminates the entire sky. Ding Hechun sits on the beach and unconsciously recites a poem. Seeing that Yuan Ning does not seem to understand, Ding Hechun recites another elementary school poem for him. This poem was composed by a Tang Dynasty poet while he was enjoying the scenery. As for the meaning of the poem, it reminds him of the girl he secretly loves. Hearing this, Yuan Ning suddenly thinks about where the people he loves are watching the moon right now. At this moment, a memory comes back to Yuan Ning's mind. He and Luo were tied up by a mysterious organization and thrown into the sea. Yuan Ning knows how to escape, so he easily unties himself. However, Luo is not like that. Although he wants to save Luo, a shark has swum over, forcing Yuan Ning to swim to shore to escape. Remembering this, Yuan Ning unconsciously starts crying. This makes Professor Jiround very worried and asks him. Currently, Yuan Ning cannot remember anything more. He looks down dazedly and suddenly realizes the sand they are sitting on is gradually shrinking. Professor Jiround also notices immediately. The tide is coming in. They must get out of here right away. But somehow their escape route is blocked by a herd of crocodiles. Going through there is very dangerous, so Yuan Ning advises everyone to stay here and wait. Meanwhile, he and the professor will find another way. But Ding Hechun is in a hurry. He does not want to die in a place like this. So ignoring Yuan Ning's warning, he runs away. The crocodiles chase after Ding Hechun. In that life or death moment, Ding Hechun is very smart and dives underwater to swim away. Thanks to that, he can avoid the fierce crocodiles. Yuan Ning has to sigh in relief that Ding Hechun survived. Professor Jiroud is very angry because this guy is just someone who loves life and fears death. After running for a while, Ding Hechun remembers before in the pyramid. Those teammates saved his life. If he leaves now, is he not an ungrateful person? So Ding Hechun comes up with an idea to find a rope to save the professor and Yuan Ning. A moment later, Ding Hechun has found what he needs. Just as he returns, Bro Zhang is right behind him. Hearing that Ding Hechun abandoned his teammates makes Bro Zhang extremely angry. Ding Hechun tries to explain and asks Bro Zhang to go rescue the other two with him. At this moment, a loud noise rings out. They are surrounded by a herd of monsters. Ding Hechun suggests running away, but Bro Zhang feels something is not right, so he turns to threaten Ding Hechun. He will stay here to hold off these monsters so he can go save those two. If Yuan Ning has any problems, then Ding Hechun will definitely die. Then Bro Zhang rushes in to fight the monsters. Ding Hechun returns to the beach. By now, the tide has risen very high. Yuan Ning and the professor have to climb a nearby coconut tree to hide from the crocodiles. Seeing Ding Hechun with the rope, Yuan Ning immediately thinks of a way. He asks him to climb the tree and tie the rope firmly, then throw the other end over here. Seeing the professor is almost exhausted, Yuan Ning lets him go first. He tries to hold onto the rope to get to Ding Hechun's side. But at this moment, Yuan Ning feels something is not right. This rope is getting more and more slack. It is very close to the water surface. He cannot hold onto the rope like the professor did. So Yuan Ning performs a tightrope walking show for everyone. However, the crocodiles are already right below Yuan Ning. He makes it across, and just as he jumps down, the crocodiles chase and attack Yuan Ning. Right when he is about to get mauled, Bro Zhang appears and saves Yuan Ning's life. Then he turns to look at Yuan Ning, making him startled. Bro Zhang's eyes have turned red. On his chest is a wound. Bro Zhang does not hide it from everyone anymore. He has been wounded by those monsters. Immediately, the professor and Ding Hechun show their attitude of not wanting to go with him. Yuan Ning tries to persuade them. According to his prediction, those monsters are experimental subjects of One Eye. If they are experimental subjects, then there must be an antidote. Currently, Bro Zhang is only in the incubation stage. As long as they find the antidote, they can save him. Although knowing this, the professor is still very worried, so he decides to go ahead and leave signs for Bro Zhang to follow behind. Meanwhile, Candy and Andre are also separated from the group. Not knowing where to go, they sit and rest in a corner to relieve tiredness. At this moment, they hear Sujin scream and rush to help. They think she encountered natives, but no, she just reunited with Ishigaki and Wang Xiang, who almost starved to death. Because she rushed to save Sujin, Candy also forgot to bring the food backpack. Just as she is about to go back to get it, the whole group is surrounded by monsters. Meanwhile, Yuan Ning and the professor are still wandering in the forest. The trees are growing too thick, so they do not know which direction to go. So the professor orders everyone to find an open area first before continuing. Very quickly, they find an area with few trees and happily run in. At this moment, the professor's feet start sinking down. He immediately realizes they have fallen into a swamp. The more they struggle, the more they will sink. So the professor shows everyone a way. Lie down on the swamp, then start using the backstroke. This way they can sink less and escape from this place. However, the fat guy Ding Hechun is not as calm as the professor and Yuan Ning. He starts sinking down and grabs Yuan Ning's leg, not letting go, begging Yuan Ning to save him. Yuan Ning shows killing intent, wanting to kick Ding Hechun away, but he remembers the pleading words Luo said to him before. so Yuan Ning calms Ding Hechun down first. Bro Zhang arrives at this moment and also encounters a similar situation. Yuan Ning yells, ordering everyone not to move. The professor is the first to escape. On the cliff there are many vines. Yuan Ning orders the professor to tie them together to make a rope to pull everyone up. The professor unconsciously follows Yuan Ning's words. While doing it, he starts feeling there is something not quite right about Yuan Ning. Although he has gone through so many dangers, he has never seen Yuan Ning panic. He is always the calmest person in the group, like a true leader. On Candy's group's side, after the fight with the monsters, everyone is still safe. However, Candy's gun only has 3 bullets left. If they encounter the native group again, they are done for. So they cannot risk going back to get the food bag. Andre wants them to just go straight to the volcano. Sujin objects. They need to find supplies first. Ishigaki also thinks so. So he divides the team into 2 groups. One group goes to find food while the other group goes to scout the situation. On Yuan Ning's side at this time, everyone has been pulled up to shore. However, looking into Bro Zhang's eyes makes the professor very scared. He does not dare to be near Bro Zhang and advises Yuan Ning to leave with them first. Bro Zhang also does not want to burden Yuan Ning and tells him to leave. This makes Yuan Ning angry and he curses at Bro Zhang's face. They have made a blood oath together, so no matter what the reason, he will not leave Bro Zhang behind. Hearing this, Bro Zhang can only sigh. As someone living in the underworld, he is not afraid of death, but also does not want to turn into that kind of monster, neither living nor dead. Before, he once asked Yuan Ning, if one day Yuan Ning has to kill him, would Yuan Ning do it? Now is the time for Yuan Ning to give his answer, and he is certain the answer is no. He will find the antidote for Bro Zhang. But if Bro Zhang turns into a monster before that, then he will personally send Bro Zhang off first. Hearing Yuan Ning's firm and flattering words and his loyalty makes the professor also feel ashamed. He feels he himself is truly blameworthy and apologizes to the 2 of them. Yuan Ning does not blame the professor. In that situation, every human activates their survival instinct. He himself just wanted to kick Ding Hechun in the face and leave him in the swamp. Sujin is a girl, so she cannot cross the swamp by herself. This makes Andre very suspicious. Sujin has to tell the truth, which makes him burst out laughing. It turns out the native group has been closely following Sujin and guiding her all along. As for Andre, he does not need to mention being a soldier. Survival in the jungle is a necessary skill. On Ishigaki's side, it is the same. He is someone who likes outdoor activities, so he also often has to go through swamps like this. Thanks to that, Ishigaki can draw from his own experience and create anti-sinking shoes to cross that swamp. At this moment, Xiang speaks up, curiously asking Candy what relationship she and Andre have. According to Xiang, it seems like Andre likes Candy, because when they divided tasks to go find medicine with Sujin, Andre insisted on taking that opportunity. Moreover, yesterday when they were still hiding in the forest escaping from the native group, Xiang saw with his own eyes that despite the danger, Andre was always secretly following and protecting Candy. Hearing this makes Candy also flustered, not knowing how to explain. If she has to tell, it has to start from a few years ago, when Candy participated in an anti-smuggling crime operation. The transaction location was at the harbor, so Candy's team ambushed nearby. However, at this moment gunshots start ringing out fiercely. It seems the criminals discovered them and fled by speedboat. Seeing this, Candy's whole team started firing. One member of Candy's team was wounded. And on the criminal side, Candy also shot one who fell straight into the sea. The other one was lucky to survive. After retrieving the body for investigation, Candy learned about the name and nationality of this person. And the surname of that criminal matches Andre. Of course, it is just the same surname, so Candy cannot confirm Andre is a criminal from that gang. Ishigaki also finds Andre very suspicious, so he advises everyone it is best to stay away from him. On Yuan Ning's group side at this time, they are still wandering in the forest. He is very worried, not knowing if Sujin is okay. At this moment, the whole group discovers the food bag that Andre forgot in his hurry to rescue Sujin. Yuan Ning opens it to check, and the food is still intact. Being in such a hurry to forget an important bag like this means the area around here must be very dangerous. Ding Hechun urges everyone to leave here immediately. Yuan Ning thinks for a while, then points toward the volcano. It seems they are going in the right direction. Whether they get separated or not, they will all gather at the foot of the volcano anyway. Walking and walking until late afternoon, Ishigaki's group also arrives at the foot of the volcano. The further they go, the hotter Sujin feels and complains. Seeing this, Andre explains to her, "This place has high temperature. Trees cannot grow here, so of course it is hot. Sujin and Xiang cannot continue anymore. They suggest everyone stay and rest to hydrate first." At this moment, Andre discovers Ishigaki is nowhere to be seen. This makes Xiang also very confused, because just a minute ago he was so tired he was leaning on him. Andre suspects Ishigaki has taken the food bag and escaped first. But Candy does not think so. In 1 minute, how can Ishigaki disappear from their sight? He is probably too tired and sitting somewhere to rest, so the whole group splits up to search. Andre goes with Xiang. While looking around, he hears Xiang scream for help. Andre is startled and rushes to check, but Xiang is nowhere to be seen anymore. Candy also appears holding a gun, suspecting Andre has attacked Xiang, because she just heard the two of them talking. How can he disappear so fast? Andre angrily scolds Candy for blaming him. She is the one who should not be here. Clearly Candy was walking with Sujin. While arguing, the two hear Sujin's cry for help and rush over. Sujin is sinking in the sand. Despite trying, Candy still cannot reach her in time. Then she along with Andre also fall down. It turns out it was sand collapse. Luckily the fall was not too high, so the three are still fine. At this moment Xiang hears their voices and quickly calls Sujin to check Ishigaki's body. Meanwhile, Yuan Ning's group has just arrived at the foot of the volcano. It is so hot that Bro Zhang's vision is blurry. Luckily, a lake appears in front of them, and it is even a hot spring, so the whole group jumps in to soak and relax. It is clearly very hot, but suddenly Professor Jiraud feels cold and goes ashore first. Meanwhile, Ding Hechun discovers there is a piece of clothing behind Yuan Ning. It seems this is a sign left by the group ahead. Yuan Ning picks it up to check and quickly determines the next direction. The professor is becoming weaker and weaker. According to Yuan Ning's preliminary assessment, it seems he has also caught the malaria fever like the native chief. Sujin made some backup medicine, so as long as they find her they can save him. Then the whole group follows the water stream and finds a very large cave. The professor has already fainted and cannot walk anymore. So Bro Zhang sits down and decides to stay here to watch the professor. Bringing along two injured people will definitely prevent Yuan Ning from acting freely. So the lives of these two people depend entirely on whether Yuan Ning comes back to save them. Inside the cave, Xiang is so hungry his vision is blurry. So Andre wants everyone to split into two teams. One team stays here to take care of Ishigaki, while he and Candy will go find food. Although Ishigaki warned beforehand that Candy should not be alone with Andre, in this moment she has no choice. Yuan Ning and Ding Hechun enter the cave. At this moment he discovers an apple floating in the water and picks it up to check. Then he suddenly thinks of a case where Sujin's group might lack food. On Candy and Andre's side, they follow upstream to search. Finally, they discover a very large underground pipe. It seems Yuan Ning's speculation that there is a research facility at the foot of the volcano is correct. She and Andre go deep inside to check. This place is dark and has many forks, so Andre suggests Candy split up to investigate with him. Candy agrees immediately. Walking a bit further, she sees a power switch. Yuan Ning and Ding Hechun at this time have also made their way into the research facility. Suddenly the lights in the tunnel all turn on, startling the two of them. It is Candy who just turned on the switch. Then she goes up the stairs and finds a room with an open door. Candy gently peeks in to observe and is immediately stunned because this is a very large artificial power plant. Candy quickly runs down to check. There are some construction vehicles here. If they can be used, it would be very helpful. But as soon as Candy touches them, the lights in the area all go out. Someone has started closing the door, wanting to trap Candy inside. The first person Candy suspects is Andre. She wants to escape by another route when someone uses a crane to drop a whole container on her head. Luckily, Candy escaped in time. Not knowing where this person is, Candy takes off her jacket. Then she stuffs it full of rocks and throws it to distract them. After discovering that person's position, she immediately fires. Yuan Ning and Ding Hechun hear and also rush to check. Candy and this person chase each other in the area. Just when Andre pokes his head in to ask about Candy's situation, a bullet grazes his face. At this point, Andre cannot hold back anymore. He pulls out his crossbow and rushes down to fight with Candy. Ding Hechun is scared of the battle between a mercenary and a police officer. He does not dare to intervene. But Yuan Ning is not cowardly like him. He quickly finds a high place, then jumps up and yells loudly. He demands the two stop killing each other. Andre angrily accuses Candy of firing first, wanting to take his life. Candy also has her reasons and curses Andre for dropping a container on her head. What container? Andre vehemently denies it. At this point, Yuan Ning advises Candy that was not done by Andre. Because as soon as the first gunshot rang out, he and Ding Hechun rushed to check. They saw Andre had only just run to the stairs. Despite advising them, Candy and Andre still will not stop. This makes Yuan Ning very frustrated. Bro Zhang and the professor are still waiting for him to come back and save them. He cannot waste time here. If those two want to fight, then he will oblige. Yuan Ning stands up and holds the food bag up high. He threatens everyone that if he counts to 3 and they do not put down their weapons, then everyone will starve to death here. On Sujin's side, she is still waiting for Ishigaki to wake up. Xiang has already gone around to check. There is no other way to escape from here. He is so hungry he is sweating all over. Just looking at him, Sujin knows Xiang has low blood pressure. So she takes out her apple to give to Xiang to eat first. Xiang is very hesitant because if he eats, then what will Ishigaki and Sujin eat? But he is already so hungry, so he still takes the apple and eats half of it, saving the rest for Ishigaki. Sujin hears this and smiles, praising Xiang as truly a good person. Xiang eats while telling Sujin. He is a Buddhist, so from a young age his grandfather taught him many things. To be a generous person, helping those in trouble, doing good deeds and accumulating virtue. At this moment, Yuan Ning along with Andre and Candy have returned. Yuan Ning does not delay and hands over the food bag to supply everyone. Then he asks Sujin to come with him to check on the professor and Bro Xiang. They are both sick. Ding Hechun only dares to mention the professor's illness. As for Bro Xiang being infected by the monsters, he does not dare mention it for fear everyone will be scared. But Yuan Ning must tell the truth. If Sujin is scared, then he will take the medicine and go back to save those two himself. Of course, Sujin cannot just abandon those two. Yuan Ning then turns to ask Xiang to come with him. So if there are any problems, they can still carry the professor and Bro Xiang back here. But since Xiang just had low blood pressure, this task still has to be left to Andre. Then the whole group quickly runs outside the cave entrance to find those two. However, at this time Bro Xiang and the professor have disappeared. The three split up to search, but cannot find any clues at all. At this moment, Yuan Ning discovers Bro Xiang's knife is stuck up high. A person nearly 2 meters tall like Andre still has to jump to get it down. With Bro Xiang's exhausted body, he cannot do this. There must be something suspicious here. Yuan Ning deduces that perhaps those two have gone to the research area, so he tells Sujin and Andre to go back to Ishigaki's group first. On Candy's side, she is checking her gun again. Candy feels the accuracy of the gun seems to have shifted slightly. It seems someone has touched her gun. Otherwise, she would have finished off Andre earlier. Ding Hechun sees Candy holding a gun and worriedly breaks out in sweat. Yuan Ning's group has just returned and tells them everything. Ding Hechun is a bit scared, wondering if Bro Xiang's poison has already taken effect. Andre does not think so because there are no signs of a fight there. Moreover, the food is still placed intact there. Two living people suddenly disappearing is just too strange. At this moment, Ishigaki slowly wakes up. Sujin rushes over to check his condition. There is nothing to worry about. He is just dehydrated and too hungry. After waiting for Ishigaki to recover, the whole group goes back to the research area together. While walking, Ishigaki speaks up to thank Sujin for saving his life. He promises to repay this favor after they escape from here. Sujin awkwardly smiles and explains she is just doing her job. After moving for a while, the whole group has arrived at the research area. Ishigaki looks and his eyes go wide. This place is truly impressive with power generators, large capacity vehicles, and even cranes. Building a place like this without government assistance is impossible. At this moment, Yuan Ning asks Ishigaki if he knows how to operate that vehicle. Ishigaki looks for a while, then immediately recognizes it. This type of vehicle is used for transporting cargo. And this place is a deserted island. If it is for transporting cargo, then it must come from outside. This means he is quite sure this place also has a harbor and even ships. Finding the harbor location is also easy. Ishigaki is certain he will find information in this research area, so the whole group sets off to search together. Walking a bit further, they discover a dried corpse in front of a large room. The door is already locked, but Yuan Ning is very quick to search the pocket of that corpse. Sure enough, he finds the ID card to open the door. Once again, the scene before them leaves Ishigaki overwhelmed. Inside this room is a very large supercomputer. There must be a lot of valuable information stored here, including the formula for that immortality medicine. Ishigaki's specialty is using computers, so he quickly runs over to work. However, to be able to use the machine requires a password. Ishigaki looks and breaks out in sweat. This password has 40 digits. With his ability, the fastest he can crack the password is still a week. Ishigaki helplessly slams the table, not knowing if they can hold out until then. So Yuan Ning comes up with another idea. If the normal machine cannot do it, then what about the super large machine in the middle of the room? Only when Yuan Ning reminds him does Ishigaki remember that giant machine. Ishigaki stretches and enters work mode. It has been 40 years since he experienced such intense work like this. Ishigaki types out a series of operations. First, he turns on all the cameras in this research area. Then he determines this place is used for both research and staff living quarters. With the information in hand, Yuan Ning turns to plan for everyone. Ishigaki will stay here to crack the code, while the others split up to continue exploring. Thanks to the cameras, Ishigaki can sit here and guide each group. Following Ishigaki's directions, Candy's group has made their way to the chemical laboratory. With the employee card that Yuan Ning swiped earlier, they easily open this area and enter. Just turning on the lights makes Ding Hechun so scared he sits down on the ground. Inside, there are countless monkeys in laboratory chambers. Now the whole group is certain. These monkeys were indeed researched here. And if they were researched here, then there must be an antidote. Very quickly, Sujin has found it. Meanwhile, Yuan Ning's group makes their way to the living quarters. There are no cameras here, so before entering, Ishigaki still has to remind everyone to be careful. Stepping inside and scouting for a while, Yuan Ning finds a simple changing room. Opening the cabinet door, he calls Andre and Wang Xiang to check. He discovers an ID card of an American Special Forces soldier. Even American soldiers appear here. The more Andre thinks about it, the more he feels this place is not simple. It seems there was a secret organization researching immortality medicine on this island. Life and death are fated. Wealth and honor are determined by heaven. Wang Xiang is very curious why they have to fear death so much. Then he turns to ask Andre whether they should bring those natives along with them. Andre immediately refuses. They are not even sure they can keep their own lives. How can they bring a whole tribe off this deserted island? Andre reminds Wang Xiang to drop that thought, or he will just slow down his teammates. As soon as he hears the word slow down, Wang Xiang breaks out in sweat, showing extreme fear. Yuan Ning also notices this and asks Wang Xiang about it. Then he learns Wang Xiang has thought disorder. Before, in an important basketball game, Wang Xiang was under too much pressure, so the final shot could not go in. This dragged down the whole team. So from then on, Wang Xiang developed easy anxiety. At decisive moments, he will lose control and cannot control his limbs. At this point, Ishigaki calls them. He discovers there is a cafeteria, so he orders both Candy's group and Yuan Ning's group to go there and check. They also obey the order and leave immediately. Stepping through the cafeteria door, the scene is like hell on earth. There are many corpses here. Yuan Ning remains calm and makes a preliminary assessment. It seems these people all died sudden deaths while eating. Behind the cafeteria, there is still another room. It seems to be for senior staff. The whole group enters to check. Then Wang Xiang discovers someone is still alive sitting on the sofa. Andre slowly approaches to check and is startled when this person turns to look at Andre and smiles very brightly. Although they found the medicine rack, all the medicine has already been taken away. Ding Hechun sighs. So they cannot save Bro Zhang now. Sujin does not think so because her father once taught her that in any difficult situation she must keep hope. So Sujin continues searching. She steps into a room and screams again. Candy and Ding Hechun are startled and run in to check. Before their eyes is a dead person who was experimented on. Their lower body is grafted with a giant snake tail. This horrifying scene makes Ding Hechun so scared he almost wets his pants. On Andre's side, he has already pulled out his crossbow and aimed at that person's head. Not knowing who he is, they must first show dominance. Yuan Ning runs over to stop Andre. Then he gently questions that person, but there is no reaction at all. Yuan Ning puts his hand under this person's nose to check. He is already dead. Andre still does not believe it. He has seen many dead people. This person does not look dead at all. Yuan Ning rummages through this person's clothes and finds a card. This person seems to be a senior leader here. With that card, they can go to places that were previously locked. Andre also rummages and discovers a notebook. He opens it to check, but all the pages have been torn out. At this moment, suddenly a figure runs behind Wang Xiang. Andre notices and wants to chase, but Yuan Ning stops him. He can chase but must leave the notebook behind. Andre angrily throws the notebook to the ground and runs off. The reason Yuan Ning has to do this is because he has discovered a clue. After Andre leaves far away, he opens the last page of the notebook and reads. Then he smiles. Meanwhile, Candy has gone somewhere else to search. While walking, Sujin is frustrated by those cruel experiments. It is just too inhumane. Hearing this, Candy encourages Sujin not to think about those things anymore. When she was studying medicine, Sujin also experimented on white mice before. But that is different from experimenting on living people. Candy's point is to teach Sujin to realize that in this world, not everyone thinks the rules Sujin believes are right. Many people are born weak without the ability to defend themselves. Freedom and equality only apply to the strong. While talking, suddenly a grenade flies to Candy's feet. She is startled and hurriedly jumps to push Sujin and Ding Hechun down. The loud explosion can be heard throughout the basement. Without delay, Candy helps everyone up and pulls them to hide under the stairs. Then she explains the situation to them. The attacker is probably Andre. Hearing this makes Ding Hechun very scared. He is a mercenary. If he wants to kill them, how can they escape now? Candy still tries to calm everyone down. For now, they must find a safer place to hide first. She discovers there is a door on their right, so she draws up a plan for everyone. She will hold off this person so they can open that door with the ID card and hide inside. However, she still has to warn Ding Hechun and Sujin beforehand. The first person to run out from the stairs will be extremely dangerous. In this moment, Ding Hechun is unusually brave. The ID card is in his hand. It is time for him to show his usefulness. Ding Hechun yells loudly and rushes outside. While running, he grits his teeth, praying for Buddha to bless him to survive. As a man, he cannot let women protect him. The assassin shoots his crossbow at Ding Hechun. It only grazes his ear. He can still run. At this moment, Candy fires to suppress the assassin so Ding Hechun can open the room door. This door is too heavy. Ding Hechun has to use all his strength to push open a small crack, just enough for Candy and Sujin to squeeze through. The assassin throws down a grenade. Candy and Sujin have both run into the room, but Ding Hechun just stands there frozen. The wound on his hand shows bulging veins. Despite trying his hardest, he cannot move anymore. Although Sujin wants to save him, Candy is out of bullets. She grabs Sujin's hand and runs fast. Somehow the door in the room has been locked from outside. They cannot escape. They have to crawl into another room to hide. The assassin has now appeared and opens the door to enter. He stands right in front of the door where Candy and Sujin are hiding. This makes them break out in sweat. But this person does not enter. He just stands outside and presses a button to release poison gas into the room. This makes Sujin and Candy pass out immediately. Hearing the loud noise, Xiang and Yuan Ning rush to Ishigaki's location to check. Ishigaki sighs and tells them everything was done by Andre. He has taken Candy and Sujin away. Although he wants to find his whereabouts, the camera access is limited. There are still places Ishigaki cannot check. In this moment, Yuan Ning is still very calm. He draws up a plan for them. It seems Andre is not coming to this research area for the first time. He seems to understand the paths throughout the entire area very well, so they cannot risk going to find him. Candy and Sujin have only just passed out and been taken away. So for now, perhaps the two of them will not be in mortal danger. What Yuan Ning's group needs to do now is sit and wait for Andre to come find them. Then Yuan Ning pulls out a notebook, something he took from the corpse of the senior manager in the cafeteria. He gives it to Ishigaki and points to the name. The length of the full name is exactly 40 characters. According to Yuan Ning's deduction, this might be the password for this research area. Ishigaki enters it to test immediately, and sure enough, Yuan Ning's deduction is completely correct. But trouble comes for them. After entering the password once, it pulls up a second-level identity verification. A fingerprint scanner rises from the ground. Yuan Ning also immediately realizes they need to get the fingerprint from that corpse. However, they only have 10 minutes. If they cannot scan the fingerprint within 10 minutes, the device will activate self-destruct mode. Xiang is scared and wants to run, but is held back by Yuan Ning. From here to the cafeteria is very far. A normal person needs more than 10 minutes to get there. But Xiang is a professional athlete. He runs faster than normal people, so Yuan Ning assigns the task to Xiang. Go back to the cafeteria and chop off the manager's hand and bring it here. Xiang is still hesitant. Chopping off a dead person's hand is like desecrating them. Buddha teaches not to do that. Yuan Ning hears this and angrily curses at Xiang's face. At this point, Xiang is still worrying about a corpse. Is the lives of 7 people in this area not important? Thanks to this, he has convinced Xiang. With the speed of a professional athlete, Xiang runs very fast and reaches the cafeteria. But when holding the knife wanting to chop off the manager's hand, Xiang is too scared to do it. It is all over. Ishigaki tears at his hair, accepting his fate. But Yuan Ning is still very calm and yells at the camera, reminding Xiang. So many of his dreams are still unfinished. Is Xiang going to accept his fate and die here? Ishigaki hears this and is also surprised. In such a critical moment, Yuan Ning can still be calm. He looks at the camera and is even more surprised. When Xiang does not dare chop off the manager's hand, he uses another method, which is to carry the entire body back. His speed is even faster than when running to the cafeteria. Xiang uses all his strength. He knows everyone on the team has their own specialty. Right now, he is the strongest person. If not him, then no one can save them. The remaining time is very short. Yet on the way back, Xiang sees Andre standing in front of him. But Xiang does not stop and still runs past Andre. Arriving at the research room, Xiang trips and falls. He does not stop and continues to stand up, dragging the corpse, rushing to the fingerprint scanner. Time is only counting in seconds now. Can Xiang save everyone?